Going, and we are live. And it's Friday evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday evening, yes.
And we've already got people waiting for us here.
A ton.
The best people on earth. Well, most of the best people on earth.
Yeah.
Pretty good people.
Pretty good.
Pretty okay. They're all pretty okay.
Some of the top people in the world.
Some of the top people in this chat.
Yes. They're all here.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Let's be fair about it. Some of the best people in this chat are here in this chat. Mexican Spec is in the house. Driveway of Misfits. Well, that's it, really. Oh, Bill McCarthy. Fubar. That's it. We're done.
And then there was earlier. There was like Scoop and somebody 420 guy and
Nathan McCree is here.
Yeah.
Okay. Carbide Jones, the best name.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mexican Spec is saying howdy to you.
Howdy,
William Stamper. Do you want to tell them about that? Or we want to keep that secret?
We'll get to that.
When do you want to get to it?
About 20 minutes.
Okay.
Let them hang on for 20 minutes.
Yes.
We got to build some suspense. Once we get to 100 likes, we'll tell you what we have planned.
Yeah, but you see, now that we did that and when we made it a clip, and now people are going to think like that you're pregnant or something.
No.
No,
it's nothing that dramatic.
Lolly, what's happening, Lolly? King Eric, the greatest of all. Kimaru Skrinak.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I murdered your name there, bro. I'm so sorry.
Joe K, Stray Bullet.
Eternal Racing. Yeah. Perry Ford. California in the house. Eric DeRange, this is like where is this like two car guys where we describe the noise and you tell us what to do? It can be. Yeah. It can be anything.
What's your noise, sir?
What's your noise? Not just noises, thumps, thuds.
Smells, odors.
Yeah. And Dr. Art is a world champion Macarena performer. So, yeah, if you ever, right, exactly. So don't be afraid to call him out. He'll blow your mind.
Stray Bullet, Tony and Art race? No, because it's Tennessee and early summer and it rains.
Yes,
it rains and then it rains again and then it's sunny Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Come Friday, whoosh.
I have not been to the track in a few months now, a couple of months now, because I've had a situation that I've had to handle around. It's all good. You know what I mean? But life takes precedence over drag racing sometimes. I know it sounds crazy, but I have not been able to get to the track. I will be getting back soon.
It's rained anyway.
And it's raining anyway, so it doesn't make any difference.
You remember last year it took us
11 times. We got rained out 11
times, 11 weekends in a row. Yeah. And then by then it's August and it's 300 degrees. But we may have a solution for that.
We are working on a solution.
Yes.
We have a remedy. What was that from? We have a remedy. Oh, come on. With Ivan the engine driver. Oh, the Who.
The
Who. Tommy's parents. We have a remedy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unity Motors. Andy, what's happening, brother, man? How are you? Congrats on the 426,000 subs. Yes. We're moving forward.
Andy's channel's taking off like crazy, too.
I saw a couple of videos that Andy did recently. Andy is awesome. Anybody who doesn't know, Unity Motorsports Garage, Andy Woods, brilliant guy, great content, good friend. Go over there and check his stuff out. Like, subscribe, the whole bit. Name your kids after him.
Buy the T-shirt, the whole thing.
Buy the T-shirt.
Yes.
Ankle bracelet? No, I've actually never worn an ankle bracelet.
Okay, Doctor, how do I hot rod the computer on my 1988 Lincoln 302 computer? You don't, or you go back in the NOS thing and find somebody who did a chip and plug the chip in the back of that EEC. Yeah.
Yes.
Because they're unprogrammable on like the normal way that everything is done now.
Which is your favorite EEC?
EEC 4.
EEC 4, right? I knew you were going to say EEC 4.
Definitely EEC 4. Sorry, sir. But if it's a 302 Lincoln, you can get the computer and harness out of like a 97 Explorer and it'll pop right in there and you can adjust away to your heart's content.
Thunderbird 68 says he loves watching Unity Motorsports. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, Tony, your Pontiac story. You throwing some shade at the Trans Ams. That really we have that car to thank for Pontiac continuing the muscle car as long as it did through the middle 70s. Dude, no, I'm sorry. I threw shade at the Trans Am because it deserved it. You were not around. I doubt it. Okay. But you probably weren't around during that disco era, gold chains, silk shirt, Gugine, right?
185 horsepower in T-top.
Yeah, there was no muscle car shit going on with those things. I absolutely guarantee you. All of the muscle car guys in the 70s were buying 60s cars and screwing around with them. Nobody played with Trans Ams back in that day.
No, the only person that played with Trans Ams was Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds,
and
right.
That's why the Trans Am, again, didn't die.
Right.
a slow death after the late 80s. So.
And even the Camaros in that era. Nobody wanted those Camaros either.
No, the Berlinettas.
Yeah. The doors, they were the heaviest doors. Unreasonably heavy.
Unreasonably heavy. Unreasonably underpowered. Yes, you could rip out the motor and put a older style engine in it and stuff like that. But again, this is a different era that some of the young folks that are here tonight.
We have bugs.
Don't understand. There wasn't all the aftermarket shit. There was no internet. What you found was that what your buddies had, what was in the newspaper, was at the junkyard. Period.
Rocco, see, that's the spirit. That's true love. I couldn't do the Pontiac video. Watched 60 seconds so you got paid and pulled the plug. You only need to hang in for 30 seconds. 30 seconds and it counts as a view. Thank you, man.
Yeah. Roy Miller says, good evening.
Good evening, Roy.
Good evening.
Eric Durant says, I always wanted a Trans Am until I restored one. It's a piece of shit. It really, I'm telling you, it was an embarrassing era for Pontiac people. If you were a Pontiac guy, okay, you cringed at what was going on with those cars.
Mm-hmm. 80 Cobra Guy, Doctor, speaking of the 98 Explorers, you want to agree that that Ford EDIS ignition is one of the best systems around? It was pretty much bulletproof with the big, coil pack brick.
Oh, yeah.
Fire two at a time. Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty much until those cars got 200,000 miles on them, that thing really never failed.
I thought the best out of all of them was the TFI.
That thin film on the box bodies and stuff like that. Yeah.
Heat would kill those. That was it. If they ran consistently hot.
Yeah.
But I thought that those were really good ignitions.
Yeah, they worked good too. You
there was a trick.
You pull out the little chip to time it.
Yeah.
And then put the thing back in to drive it. Yeah.
There was a trick to those things, though. When you put them on, right? Like if you didn't know and you say, "Oh, I got to change the module," right? There was this special socket that went with it, right? Which was a pain in the ass because it was only one thing that would fit in there. Okay, and you had to buy the socket from the little tool from Ford. Mm-hmm. And if you didn't put it against the body of the distributor and then push it straight up, it would knock those 3 wires out. Yeah, and there's nothing you could do.
You just end up throwing the distributor across the
But functionally, they were great. I thought that they were great.
Yeah.
What's Andy Wood's favorite factory Ford ignition?
Something that came out of 4.6.
And he's going to say like a Doris Spark or something.
Yeah, something. He's still here.
He's here.
You're still here, Andy.
He's lurking. Andy is lurking.
Yeah.
Andy, we got to get together and do a live, man.
You should have him next Friday because I'm out of town.
Oh, Andy likes to eat pork too. What this?
Next Friday I'm out of town. Why don't you?
Oh yeah, Andy. You want to do next Friday night? We'll do it StreamYard. Joe K, what's more cringe, the TA clientele or the rich Corinthian leather Cordoba clientele? Oh, well, they're equally cringe. Equally cringe.
I love what they have done to my car.
That's what they have done to my car. All right, cool.
Mhm.
And in FUBAR, just put up the link to Unity Motorsports Garage. So guys, go over there, give Andy a like and a sub and all of that good stuff. Thunderbird 68. And speaking of Ford 46, Andy's buddy has got a storming 4.6. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
That's a 2-valve motor, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. You'd never know it was a 4.6.
It's nuts. Do you know that the earlier ones had full
Spark plug threads in the heads. I don't know what he means by that exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, if you need a 4.6 guru, you can ask Andy about anything and stuff like that.
Yeah, Andy knows 4.6.
When I had all those cop cars, I'd ask him, well, what if I do? He goes, no, buy this and this, and these are cheap, and this heads, and yeah.
Rocco saying the last time you got together, Andy lost $5,000. But a great time was had by all. And that's what really counts.
It was fun. It was fun.
At the end of the day, that's all that really counts. William Stamford says there was no cringe in 1977. Everything was good in the car world. Oh, no, man. I was there. There was a lot of cringe. It was the beginning of cringe. It was the dawn of cringe.
Let's see. It'd be 9.
77?
Yeah.
I was 15.
Okay. I was 12, 13, whatever. Yeah, there was not much that was really cool. They were just trying to get wild with
it. Well, even the cool stuff really wasn't cool. So when I was that age, I was 15, and I fell in with a group of guys that were about 3 years older than me, and I was like the grease monkey. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, okay, slide him under the car to change the joint, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the one guy that I used to ride around with mostly was Michio, Anthony Michio.
Mm-hmm.
We used to call him Nipplehead because he used to wear these hats that, like a cap. So Nipplehead. And there was another name for him, but I can't remember what it was. So he had a blue 71 Challenger 3-3 automatic, okay? But it had like a fake 4-speed shifter in it. The whole interior of the car was covered with blue fur.
Which was in style back then.
That was the thing, right? Everything had blue fur, like this blue shag.
Blue, yeah.
Every square inch of the inside of this car. The ceiling, the dashboard, the floors, the door
speaker
panels,
deck on the back.
Everything blue fur. And he had Keystone Classics on it. Jacked up on the back, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And side pipes.
So the quintessential mid, yeah.
Yeah, and it never ran well. But I tried my best. I was only 15. I really didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I tried. And then I had another buddy of mine, Danny Ciccarelli. He had a 71 344 speed Duster, which was a bit of a beast. That car ran really good.
Here's a good question. We actually got a good question. So we got to back up here just a hair.
I like good questions.
Just getting started. This is Aaron.
Aaron, okay.
On a small block Fords, I have a 351 with a Lunati solid roller cam that's operating ranges 4,500 to 8,500. Woo!
Okay.
I'm curious what would be a good RPM to have the full timing advance kick in.
I mean,
2,400.
Not even. So just strictly speaking, from a hot rod standpoint, okay, the only reason you want like a curve, any type of advance, is so you can start easy. That's it. Just so you don't tear the nose off the starter trying to start it. So if you can have it all in at idle, that's fine. That's in my mind.
If it would start, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. As soon as the thing starts, I have a factory race Hemi. I gotta show you something.
All right.
I'll be right back.
All right. Oh, that distributor? Yeah. So, Aaron, yes, we'll continue your question in a second, sir, and give you a good answer here. Uh, 77 cars were good cruisers. That's all I ever cared about. Okay. 77 Cutlass on the road, which everyone needed and wanted. Yeah, because the 77s had that grill that went kind of angled and down to kind of like that thing. Yeah, those were. I mean, in their day they were cool. They still have some good points to them. All right, we are back with the distributor in hand.
So, in terms of factory performance, right? This would be like a holy grail part. Okay, so this is from a 1968. It's either a Hemi Dart or a Hemi Barracuda. Okay, and here's I'm gonna hold the shaft and show you how much advance is in here. That's it. Now look at the effort that it takes to move that.
Barely a whisper.
Right. At idle, this thing is full. It only gives you about 10 degrees, of mechanical advance. And it's just so you can start the damn thing. And then once it's started, it immediately goes to full advance. And that helps keep the plug clean too. You got an engine that idles a little on the fat side, a cam and all of that. By having all of the advance in at idle or just above idle, it helps keep the plug. That's, yes.
So, yeah, and if you got a matching all your other stuff, you won't get any spark knock, flash knock, or anything like that. Yeah.
And Jamie is in the house.
Jamie.
The best Mopar channel in all of YouTube. Dead Dodge Garage.
I was watching his last video. He's talking about his
I don't watch his videos anymore.
Oh.
I know.
You give you.
I'm intimidated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's taken over.
But it was hilarious because he's doing a video on his A100, the banana thing with the motor in the back, and he's like, "I'm not going to touch anything. I'm just going to talk about this. If you guys don't like," I'm like, "Yes."
No, I don't. I can't watch his videos. It's bad. It's like because I feel it. I'm over the.
You jumped the shark.
I jumped the shark.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, let's see. Antonio Gonzalez, happy Friday. Happy Friday. Does a motorhome 440 water pump housing work on a 72 satellite? It would. The problem now is that the fan is going to be really high. So if you run an electric fan on it,
yeah,
you can get away with it. But then you got other oddities too. So if you're using those heads, what are you doing for an exhaust? Right, because it's a whole different setup than on a regular 440. I think you're.
Is he just doing just the water pump, or is he doing the whole motor?
Well, you can't do just the water pump. The heads are specific to a motorhome, and they have the water passages at the front.
Ah.
So
maybe he wasn't. Maybe he hadn't thought of that.
Yeah. I don't know. Let Jamie chime in on that.
Yeah.
Two Hacks Garage. What's happening,
Jeffrey? What's going on, buddy?
Watching from Alaska. Nice.
What?
We'll be at a drag strip outside of Anchorage this weekend. We used to race.
I figured he would want to have power tour because it goes right through Joliet and close to his house. And
maybe he thought it was in Alaska.
Maybe.
Yeah. Track, but I'm familiar with it because I've seen videos. We used to race. So when I was doing the Fuel Altered thing, we had a thing called the Fuel Altereds of America, and there was a family, the Bodenstats, if I remember correctly. I can't remember his first name, Bodenstat, but they were the only nitro car in Alaska, and that was their home track, and it was just such a beautiful. So I remember seeing videos of this thing, and it's like the track is in like this meadow, okay, and then in the background it's like past the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
There's this like grand mountain,
like Mount McKinley.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, beautiful.
Oh, that's just the glacier in the shutdown area. Yeah, nice. Have a good time up there, Jeffy.
Jamie is saying not all motorhome engines have the big industrial. Yes, we know that. Tony is thinking of if it's got conventional heads. Yeah, but so where would he get? So evidently he's got an industrial water pump housing. So I would imagine it came on the engine that he's looking to put in the car. That's why I said that.
Scoop says the dogs ate it. I don't know what that means.
The dogs always eat it. The poodle bites. The poodle chews it.
We go to the grocery store this afternoon.
Yeah.
We're getting our stuff, and of course, dog needs treats. The $20 bag of the doggy beef jerky and the chew stick. I'm like, this dog eats better than we do.
To now do that with 5 dogs.
Oh, I don't even want to.
It's obscene. I literally spend like hundreds of dollars every week on friggin' keeping the dogs quiet.
Here, shut up.
Just shut up. Here, just please shut up. Let's see. Saving Chevys, welcome back, bro.
Yeah.
William Stamper, yeah, he was talking about putting the whole front dress motorhome water pump system in his car. It will fit with a big hammer and adjustments. Well, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if he has that setup, it means it came on the engine that he was putting it in, and then you've got all different other issues to deal with. Mexican Spec is saying it's cheaper to be an alpha. I can't. I'm a pushover. I'm just telling you like it is. I'm a pushover with my dogs. I can't,
William Stamper loved the W40.
Who has 6 fingers? One of us has 6. Look how clean my hands are. It shows you how my hands haven't been this clean since I was 3 months old.
What have you been doing?
I've been taking care of business away from here.
You're doing the dishes, aren't you? Yeah, you are. Okay.
Let's see. Kevin Smith, what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
William Stamper loved the W43 olds. I enjoyed that myself. Mark Sauvé is in the house. Thunderbird 68. I host an alpha male training seminar right after Valentine's Day. He's referring to the dogs. Be the alpha dog. So they know. Okay, when I stand up and I yell, they know it's business, and they, you know what I mean. So I can be the alpha when I want to, but I don't really want to. It
takes a lot of energy when you get pumped.
It takes a lot of energy, and they look at you like, what did I do, Daddy?
What?
I'm just having, I'm just being a dog, and
I'm sure Darla's probably like, I didn't do anything.
It's Lily.
Oh, Lily.
Lily. Oh, you yell at her.
Yeah.
So to Maggie, when I yell, okay, Maggie gets off. She doesn't know what to do because, oh my God, Daddy's mad, right?
I did it, yeah.
And Lily will just kind of scream and slink away. I can't do this to my dogs. I can't. You got to have something in your life that you're soft with. And for me, it's my dog. Let's see. Are you going to tell us the big surprise? Dr. Art is pregnant.
Again. No, because there's only 54 likes. You don't get the surprise.
War Ghost. Yo, how would you diagnose a cylinder randomly cutting out and coming back on an 85 Virago? Replace both ignition coils and plugs with no luck. Yeah, because it's the CDI box. CDI box is bad. It's a very common problem with those. It's been like 20 minutes. Strable is saying it's been like 20 minutes. I don't know. I don't even know what he's talking about. Oh.
Yeah, I guess it has been 20 minutes, huh?
Do you want to tell them about it?
You go ahead. They don't want to hear it from you anyway.
Baby lifestyle. What's that?
We talked about this. This is last week.
Oh, none of that came to pass.
No, we didn't do any of it.
Okay.
But we took notes.
Yes. Which is the most important thing. At least it shows we were cognizant when it happened.
Right.
Right. And then after that, it's like, who the hell knows?
Put it this way. The Belvedere has a new sponsor.
Yes. So you guys know the Belvedere. We have the propane motor in it. I still have this whole propane setup. Somebody please just come and just give me anything, right? Buy me coffee and get this thing out of my life, okay? So you know the Belvedere.
and it has a new sponsor, and the new sponsor is Midnight Speed Labs.
Midnight Speed Labs is the new sponsor. So this is going to be a whole program.
It's like the reinvention of the wheel.
It's like NASA but real.
Yes.
Yeah, we're actually gonna.
We don't have what's his name producing the movie.
Right. So this is a joint effort between the two of us. So it's getting its own, not just the Belvedere, but we're going to use the Belvedere primarily, but it's getting its own place when we just secured that. I don't know, 20 minutes ago. The place is secured, and we're going to set that up.
Yeah, we have the lab secured.
Yes, we have the lab secured, and we have the test.
The test facility is
because that's the important thing, right?
The test facility is out of this world.
Yes. So it's like one of the problems the reason we're doing this is that we both have the same problem. Okay, he works out of his house and he lives in a residential neighborhood, so you can only do so much, in terms of testing. I'm in an area here where there aren't any straight roads. There's nothing
the roads go like this.
Yeah, everything is all over the place, right? So we have collectively secured the Midnight Speed Labs, and the Midnight Speed Labs will be the home of the Belvedere.
The Midnight Speed Labs test track.
And the Midnight Speed Labs test facility.
It is a facility.
It's a facility. It allows us to
do, we can do straight line, we can do donuts, we can do
you name it. We can create havoc there.
Yes.
Yes.
It will be Mid Tennessee's Speed Lab playground.
Yes, and if you guys have been around the channel for any amount of time, you know exactly where this is, because this is the first couple of years. Like the second and third year we were doing this channel was out of those storage units. Well, it's in that same area, so we're going back to where we can actually go let stuff hang out on a regular basis and not be bothered by anybody.
Anybody meaning Johnny Law.
Johnny Law and
neighbors and things and Karens and
right,
all of that
nonsense. So Don Rocco was saying this can only be successful. I know.
Glad you agree, sir.
So yeah, is it a paid sponsorship? Yeah, YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube is paying for us to go out and act like children.
Yes.
And after dark with cars that shouldn't be on the street.
Yes.
And make lots of noise and have lots of fun.
So yeah, there'll be far more action. The biggest problem is we need to do anything, either of us. We got to pack our shit up.
Either way, it's at least an hour.
Yeah, no matter how you look at it, it's a 150-mile round trip. Through all kinds of crazy, and you can't really shoot leisurely at the track. All you can do is just
follow the person.
Wham, bam, thank you, man. Right, exactly. You have to move at the pace of whoever's in front of you and whoever's behind you. So by doing it this way, we'll be able to do much more action.
Comprehensive, accurate testing. Dude,
I just talked myself into it again.
It
sounds like such a great idea.
Yeah.
When you have short-term memory issues like I do, it's good to rediscover, ideas you had 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
So
that's why we decided, we need pen and paper.
Yes. So it's the Midnight Speed Lab.
Yeah.
AJ's Garage. Hey, my 318 LA has an issue. Well, I go all day, then only when I rev it a couple of times, it dies and puffs out the carb. I've tried everything. What do you think? When I rev it a couple of times, it dies and puffs out the carb. You know what? That sounds like it might be a timing chain.
I was just going to say your timing chain's worn silly.
Yes.
Or if it's what year is it? It probably got nylon on. It's probably missing a tooth or two.
No, it's LA 318, so it's got to be at least 30 years old.
Yeah.
So yeah. Tony's going to get lonely to driving 150 miles by myself. No, you don't understand. We have the test grounds are attached to where the speed lab is. So it's like we can make changes real quick. We can try all different things and then just go 100 feet and make it
Yeah,
It happens.
it's right. It's probably 6 miles for each of us.
Yeah.
In the middle, and then we could film and get the out of there.
All right, wait. Kevin Smith wants to see.
What does Kevin want?
I don't know. We're gonna have to go.
Whatever
and see.
Kevin wants. Let's see.
Yes, Boomer. Tony, see question above, please. Oh, okay. All right. Sorry, guys. If we missed
something,
if we missed something because we had it on the wrong chat setting.
Yeah.
Throw
your question out there again.
Yeah, throw your question out there again, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Rocco's saying Speed Lab merch. Yes.
Yes. When the merch machine gets fired back up.
The merch machine is on its way, slowly but surely.
Yeah.
What's on the 2B UT? Would you say the 7446 pack 6-barrel Roadrunner was the ultimate stock Mopar street racer? It was good. The 69 would have been better, significantly.
But I mean, street racer. I mean, if we got a wild small block, is gonna.
I was gonna say I would say so. The best factory, okay, just factory. All right. The best factory Mopar street racer of the era would probably be like 69 340 4-speed Swinger, right? Stripper, right? That car would option out with like 355s. It has to be a 4-speed. The automatic didn't really work as well in that package.
Yeah.
That I would say the 69 340 Swinger would probably be like right there, if not above the 70 446 pack. The 69 446 pack and the 69 340 4-speed Swinger probably neck and neck with each other.
Despite the 100 cubic inches.
Yes.
Because it's the street.
Well, no, not just that, but the 340 has such a superior cylinder head. Has a better combustion chamber, has better exhaust ports. It's just a better,
Yeah.
Yeah, where the 440 is literally just a big small block Chevy. It's a 440 cubic inch small block Chevy is what it is. With no tech heads. God rest whose soul. Who died?
I don't know.
I know it's not one of us.
No, we're still here.
Brian Wilson.
Okay.
Brian Wilson. Okay. Yeah, the Beach Boys. Yeah, he put a lot of he was a car guy. Did a lot of car stuff. He was a Charlie Manson guy too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an interesting character.
4 tracks. I have a friend offering a 52 Coronet. To me, should I make something fun with flathead or find an error correct Mopar or 440?
Oh, I would do the flathead.
Just for the cool factor.
Just for the cool factor.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the period correct and yeah, I would definitely.
Because it's got its own sound, its own thing, its own
Yeah, and when you pop the hood, nobody else got anything like
that. They'll be like.
There's a unique factor.
It'd be like, what's this?
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, if it was me, I wouldn't even consider a V8 swap into that. But that's just me. That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie asks, Tony, I know you have Jeeps. Do you have any source for components for rebuilding the ABS module? None of my Jeeps have ABS, and I would not take a Jeep that had ABS. I will not own a car that has ABS, period, the end, because I don't need that complication. I know how to pump the brake pedal. So I avoid stuff like that. In my own personal life, I avoid stuff like that, like the absolute plague. But maybe somebody else can
mm-hmm.
Actually, there was a 2001 Cherokee for sale recently, and the price was good, but it was an ABS, and I passed on it just because it was ABS. Wheelie King, what's happening, man? Far too many people focus on maximum horsepower and totally overlook the cool factor. I absolutely agree.
Yep.
Which is where the fun lives. It just depends, man. It depends. You know, like something like a 52 Coronet. Yeah, let it be what it is. It makes it a cool car.
Yeah, you're not going to be, blowing people away on the street with a big, heavy.
Yep.
Because you'd have to do suspension and brakes and everything to make it, go fast.
Tell me how badass this would be. Right?
Okay.
You pull that motor apart. Okay. You freshen it up. You gap the rings for nitrous, and you throw 100 shot at it.
Yeah, it'll just.
No, seriously. You want cool, right? You want the grand wazoo of cool. You want to be cooler than anybody else wherever you go. Have a 52 Coronet with a flathead 6-cylinder and like 100 shot on it. Okay, and you win. You won. It doesn't matter what the other guy has.
And a cutout.
And a cutout.
So you have a cutout and the nitrous at the same time.
So you can hear that thing snore through the
And then
that is what I would. That would be so badass. I wish I had. No, I don't. I have too much.
No, because you almost bought one today.
Yeah. Oh, please. I'm glad I didn't. I came really close.
I tried to egg you onto that. It didn't work.
I came close. There was a 62 Galaxy on Marketplace, $750 at best offer. It was a solid car. Didn't look like it have any rust. The interior was a little shoddy, but
because
it was all there.
It's going to be,
Yeah. But and it had a Y block. That's good. I didn't even realize that they had the Y blocks up until 64 in those cars. And so yeah, it had a Y block in it too. And I was like, oh, that's so cheap. But I can't get to the cars that I have now. I can't imagine adding another.
Those Y blocks are perfect for turbos because they run that exhaust pipe in front of the engine. The 2-in-1. You just cap off the other side and you just run all the exhaust into that one in the middle and put your turbo in the middle there. Easy. Big fun.
The main CD Burlock says ABS is far superior to not having it. If you don't know how to drive, if you have no idea how to operate brakes, then yes, absolutely. It's much, much better. Todd R. buying FXR Harley for the channel. We love it. I am not a big twin guy. I've had big twins. I have a dislike for big twins. Sorry, guys. It's just the way it is. I'm a dedicated Sportster guy.
883 life.
Or 1200 or 1000 or 900. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'm a parallel push rod guy. If the push rods are parallel, I'm in, right? But yeah, no.
You get the. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely not into big twins at all. Rocco, Mr. Vitoni is going back to the storage center. Actually, I've never left. I've been there the whole time, but we're going to set up a separate little thing there.
And it's going to be cool.
Yes. Oh, I got to bring Zero up to speed here. Zero. It's going to call it's what the hell are we calling it?
Midnight Speed Labs.
The Midnight Speed Labs. So it's going to be it's where the Belvedere is going, and we're setting up a separate little satellite operation there, so that we can do testing and stuff like that, and have an actual place to test, go make smoke and make noise and go fast without anybody bothering us. Because he's in a residential neighborhood. I'm here in with nothing but curvy roads and stuff like that. And getting to the track is a hassle for both of us. Not that we don't want to go to the track, not that we will go to the track, but just to shoot stuff and get results with a draggy or anything like that, it's a pain in the ass. So we're setting up like a satellite area, Midnight Speed Labs, where we'll be able to just
content for you
and me.
Yeah, and we can have fun, and then we don't. It saves 2.5 hours of driving and loading and everything else.
Yes. It has Zero's seal of approval.
Nice. And that's all we need.
That's all I need.
Yeah.
Jokey, you can't do it near your current shop. No, really.
No.
And believe me, I've looked around, and any place where there's any type of straight, road where you could do anything with, there's houses. there's just no place I could do it here where I'm not going to get under somebody's skin. So, but back there where we had the old storage unit, and you guys remember we shot 2 years worth of videos out of that place.
Nobody over there.
Nobody over there. And I mean, I used to go out there in the middle of the night and just raise hell, and never had any problems. So we're going to set up a satellite shop. It's a joint effort, his channel and my channel, and we're going to do testing and all kinds of things there.
Fun, mayhem, and testing.
Yes. Joe K. Yep, I get it. You need your own Mexico. Yes.
Yes.
We need a Mexico that we don't have to tow shit to, right?
Right.
Yep, Zero saying sounds old school, going back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's expanding, man. And like I said, it's not. I never left that place. I've had fingers in there ever since, but it's just I haven't really utilized it. So now we're going to set up a thing. Non-tow Mexico, exactly.
Yep.
Don't get deported. Let me grab my water over there.
Okay.
I need hydration.
All right.
Okay.
And so, well, let's do this since we have a blank slate. I got an idea of what the speed lab will look like.
Okay.
Do we have what would the people like to see? Opening shot, you open up the door.
I think
does it matter what's inside, or you just want to see the action?
I think we do like an Oriental motif. Some hanging the lanterns, the
dragons.
Chinese lanterns, dragons. And we could do the whole thing like a Chinese like buffet. Like
Mr. Fuchs, Midnight Speed Labs.
That would be so badass.
Rocco's very excited.
Yes, Rocco's excited.
Opium and anime girls. Probably not that far, but you know.
We could have some anime. Yeah, an opium, no, right?
Yeah.
I'm way past opium. But yeah, no. Anime girls, we could do that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my vote. You know, dragons and Chinese lanterns and stuff like that.
I'll go to speed shop. Yeah.
Dude, that would have so many people scratching their fucking heads.
What the fuck are you? These guys are not Japanese. What are they doing? Two old white guys.
Let's see. William Stamper. Tony, you didn't see this earlier. Do you remember the Vericom performance computer from the late 80s? I remember the direct connection one, which I bought a used one and it didn't work.
Nothing from the 80s works.
Right. Yeah. That's probably the same as the Vericom one. I don't really know, but we'll have a draggy. This will all be set.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be set up for this. We're going to do a high science.
He said we need more pyrotechnics. Can we get away with pyrotechnics at the?
Yes, we can get away with anything there. I used to shoot the guns back there.
Oh, but where you had all the cars back
there?
Yeah. Okay.
I had an old duster in the back that I used to use for target practice.
Well, that's all they're good for.
Yeah, like right in the middle of the city. It's literally right in the center of the city. And it's so isolated that I used to just sit back there and just round after round after round, and nobody ever bothered me. Let's see. China Syndrome. Joe Brooklyn. China Syndrome bought a China Holly knockoff on eBay. Long story short, second day it started pouring gas out the vent tube.
Yeah.
There was a crack in one of the floats. Buyer beware. It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
Rocco, live punk bands on Fridays. Dude, I would love that. You have no idea.
Go set the way back machine, huh?
I lost touch with everybody who I knew that was in the music thing, like literally everybody. And I would love that. I would love to have just a punk band playing.
That would be hilarious.
Wouldn't that though?
Oh yeah, just back the cars out and plug these guys in with all the neighboring stalls and just have them just wailing in there. Yeah.
Crypto Billy, what's happening, Crypto Billy? Boss Zero saying nothing like the sound of gunfire to keep away the riffraff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No. Hey Tony, when I turn my car off, it smokes out the carb like whoosh. Why does it do that? 76 R225. You've got the throttle open too far. Just close down the idle. Now, if you close down the idle screw, or the throttle stop screw to close the throttle a little bit, and it won't idle, it means that you've got a partially clogged or fully clogged idle passage. So, which you on that carburetor, 76. I'm not even sure which carburetor is on that one, but it's just too much throttle opening. Zero saying there was a band practicing there before. There are lots of bands that practice on the other side. So it's like three. It's like 4 rows, 3 rows. It's like 3 rows, and on the third row, all the way over on the side, he has some specifically band practice units. So they have wood on the floors and stuff on the walls. Sound shit on the wall. So there's still some bands that practice there, but I don't know any of them.
Oh, you said it's a Holly 1945 single.
Okay, so that has the same metering plate problem. So take the float bowl off, and you'll see there's a metering block behind it, and the idle passage in there is clogged. And the way you get to the idle passage on that is, so you got the metering block out, you got it in your hand, look at the top of the metering block, and you're going to see like a plug, okay, like a lead plug. Pop the lead plug out, and then if you look straight down, you'll see the idle passage. Clear it out with a piece of stainless wire, like a bread tie will work. Then when you're done, because you really have no convenient way to replace the lead plug, take a piece of tin can, like a Coke can or something like that, right? JB weld and put it over the hole to seal that hole again. And then you'll be able to turn the idle screw down, get an actual mixture adjustment, and your life will be so good in every other way. Zero wants to start another band. So do I, Zero. I'm not a musician, and I don't want to be a musician, but I want a band. I honestly do.
Rocco wants to see me drink Southern Comfort through a Holly 4100. Well, you're about 30 years too.
Well, you have a price, don't you?
Yeah.
All right. So
yeah,
maybe he'll pay it.
Maybe.
How much of a super chat would they take?
Well, they'd have to do it on Monday night. That's.
Well, they could do it here, and I'll just give you the cash.
Call it $400.
$400 super chat. Send a $400 super chat. Dr. Art will drink. What is it? Scotch.
Southern. Keep telling me what
Southern Comfort out of a 4100.
Not a problem.
$400 super chat, guys. Only 81 likes.
Yeah.
Dude, nobody likes this.
Oh, I know.
This is embarrassing.
It is.
It really is.
Mark Davis, is it worth getting Magnum heads over 360 heads?
Not if you've already got everything for the 360. If you're happy, if your 360's together and it runs okay, then the juice probably ain't worth the squeeze to make the conversion. If you're starting with a clean slate, on the other hand, then yeah, the Magnum is going to be more bang for the buck. Stray Bullet is saying it's expensive to get Dr. Art to do stunts. Yes,
Yes,
of course.
yes, it
He's
is.
a professional.
Yeah. You should see what I charge people during the week to work for him. Woo! The day rate's out of the world. It's pretty good.
Eric Durant is saying it's been like an hour and nobody told me how to make my 5-point slow Lincoln faster for $25. The 5-minute,
Yeah.
do the 10-minute tune-up, the same thing as the Mustang, and it'll be faster.
Yeah.
And don't I know I invented the 10-minute tune-up, but I don't remember what it is because it was 40 years ago. So just Google 10-minute tune-up and apply that to your Lincoln, and it'll go significantly.
Smash the regulator, cut the mufflers off.
No, you don't leave the mufflers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you smash the regulator. You smash the regulator, bypass the heating element at the throttle body.
That little tube that runs through the throttle body.
Disconnect it from the throttle body. Just get a piece of 1/4-inch steel tubing and hook it back together again. Advance the timing, but I don't remember how much you advanced the timing. I think it was 4 degrees over what it was set at the factory, but I don't remember. I don't remember what it was. Unplug the EGR valve. Oh, and the coolant temp sensor. Leave the coolant temp sensor unplugged, or get another coolant temp sensor, plug it in, and just let it hang in the breeze, and it will go significantly faster.
So there you go.
Eric Durant, I did all that and removed the caps. Well, then now you're on your own. You got to go to the next level, and
Yeah.
William Stamper is saying it was 15 degrees at idle with the jumper plug removed. Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
Like I said, man, you're talking about 40 years ago. I was screwing around with the stuff 40 years ago.
Yeah, short belt to bypass the smog pump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at this stage of my life, I leave the house and I'm not even sure I'm wearing shoes. I have to look down to actually see. Yes, I did put shoes on.
Kathy, do I have shoes?
Let's see. Unhook the coolant temp sensor. Maybe that was part of it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to just unhook them, but a lot of guys would leave one,
Get a dummy one, plug it in, zip tie it to whatever.
Yeah, not that it really made a difference, one way or the other. Either way, it would fatten up the motor significantly, and it would go. Thunderbird 68. What did I miss? I stopped to make supper for the family. Should we recap? I mean, can we? Do you want to just repeat the whole last? Nah.
Yeah, watch it tomorrow.
Watch the replay.
Watch it tomorrow. But you did miss significant. So.
Cadillac converters. Yeah. Jesus Christ! The first easy tune-up used to be buy gas at the airport. Nonsense. That's just absolute nonsense.
Because doesn't 110 have less BTU? It just has more resistant to.
Yeah, it's more resistant to detonation. So yes, you can advance the timing and take advantage of that. But in and of itself, just pouring aviation gas into an engine that you're otherwise running like regular gas in or just premium will make zero difference in performance.
Yeah, just make you feel better.
Yeah, it makes you feel better.
Then you spend $5 a
It's
gallon.
good bragging.
Unless you live in California, it's probably $20 a gallon for av gas.
Yeah.
Since regular gas is $6, and we pay $2.39
You
for
can tell people that you jump Coke cans in a parking lot.
Mm-hmm. That's funny because back in the day when I was 15, 16 years old and I started working at gas stations for guys and mechanics and stuff like that, they would tell that story. Oh yeah, my Trans Am back. Okay, I've never seen a Trans Am pull a tire in my life.
that whole myth, I know where that got started because it was the story that was going around when I was a kid. And when I say a kid, I mean like 13, 14 years old, and I was starting to hang around with the older guys.
Mm.
And that's actually started, and you guys who were familiar with New York in that day, that started at White Castle in Brooklyn, right on the other side. I don't remember what part was it Bensonhurst? Bay Ridge, the White Castle in Bay Ridge, where they used to get together, used to hang out over there, and the challenge was to try to get a wheel stand in the parking lot. And evidently, somebody was able to jump over a Coke can. That was the story. And then later on, I kept hearing it over and over and over and over again. But that had to be the origination of it. Well, it was of that era.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not. Maybe not.
They got it from somebody.
Yeah. Which other one? The chick with the vet. If you could beat me, you could
eat me. Yeah. That'd be quite the punching bag tonight. Yeah, well, that happens. Sorry about your fire chicken fans. I mean, I've had a couple of them myself. Come in and out during the day, but they were.
I'm not saying bad things about the Trans Am.
No.
I have said bad things about the Trans Am, but I'm not saying them currently tonight. Refiners are fleeing California, like every smart corporation is doing.
Yeah. Why would you? I mean, just mayhem and taxes and debauchery and just cut it off.
I think some interesting stuff's going to happen there tomorrow.
With this whole no king. Yeah. Well, did you hear the sheriff down in Florida?
I love that guy.
He's like, you throw a brick at us, you're going to the hospital, and then you're going to jail. You spit at us, you're going to the hospital, you're going to jail. You block the road, you're getting run over.
but the best one was, it was if you throw a rock at us.
Yeah.
Right. We'll be notifying your next of kin to pick up your body. Yeah. Whoever that guy is.
Yeah. He said, you point a gun or you do. Yeah.
Yeah, you point a gun, right, or anything like that, and
we're going to notify
your next of kin.
We're to pick up the remains. Yeah. They're not going to fuck around.
Whoever that guy is, man, he's got my vote for anything he wants to do. I don't care what it is.
Sheriff of Brevard County. Yeah. Brevard County.
Yeah, wonderful. You're going to be graveyard dead. Anything that guy wants to do, he's got my vote. Unconditional.
Yeah. What the best part about that, there was guys on either side of him that were doing their best to keep a straight face. They're like, So, yeah.
The other guy I absolutely loved, and he disappeared, and I can't remember his name now. It was a black guy. He was a sheriff.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about? What was his name?
Yeah, he was the same way.
It's torch and pitchfork time in America.
Yeah, he was the pro-gun guy.
Clark, I think. Sheriff Clark?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Sheriff Clark
I don't remember. He was
great.
Awesome guy. That's who we need in this country. David Clark. That was it. David Clark.
Jesus Christ. First, just pictured grumpy old men doing this live chat. We've been referred to as the Muppets up in the balcony many, many times, sir. In fact, that should be when I get back, we'll do that as a thumbnail. Okay. Write that down so remember to do it.
Out of Milwaukee, that's right. Josh, he was in Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
Is he still around?
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Zero saying, we've just been referring to the riots as the stupids. So there's no confusion in regards to our opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think that you would be supporting it. It's we were watching this the other night. We were watching like live feeds of it, and I was telling Kathy, I says, remember in like 20 years ago, the whole zombie apocalypse thing, right? Where the zombies are just like wandering around and no real direction.
Brains, yeah.
The brains. This is literally the zombie apocalypse. You know, they gotta tell you what they're gonna do before they do it. It's literally the zombie apocalypse. They're all just walking around. They don't have a clear thought or a clear mission in their head. They're just wandering around.
They know somebody gave them $40 in crypto to show up.
Yeah.
What are we doing? We're yelling about nothing.
Zero saying from the proud son of legal immigrants.
Yeah.
I know, man. I know. We're all from immigrants.
Right.
We're all from immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just to throw something in the conversation, right?
Okay.
I never had a problem with. So I mean, I'm old, 60. I'm 63, right?
Right.
I've had a lot of life. I've known so many people, and I've known many illegal immigrants. I never gave it any thought. It was like, okay, so all right, you don't have papers. I don't give a shit. I'm an anarchist at heart. I could care less.
Right.
But when you flood the country with them, see, it's different. It's different. A family, whatever, comes over the border, and it's like, you know, we're here, and let's go to work. And I love you. I would never in a million years say, oh, no, you're undocumented. You have to go, ever, right? Because I'm not like that. But
if
over
you're
the
a
last
butt,
several years,
yeah,
you bring millions of people in, and you spread them all over the country. That's a whole different story. That's a whole different story. Tavo is saying, give Mexico their land back from 1835. I mean, no.
No.
They have plenty of land. They don't need what we have up here. They have more minerals down there, actually.
We can give them California and wall it off.
They could have it.
Yeah.
Mexican spec saying, and the majority that came in were not Mexicans. Yeah, I know.
Right.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Trade LA for Baja, California. Yes, swap the two. We'll take Cabo. You can have Los Angeles.
Tavo saying, that's what I mean. California was part of Mexico.
Mm.
That's the whole area. Texas was,
Yeah,
where the Alamo. All that area, the whole region was originally Mexico. Boomer saying, yeah, Tony, they're carrying those signs, give Mexico back, so sick of the crap. I just had this conversation. Okay. I want you to think about this for a second. Okay. So if you come over the border illegally, that's one thing.
right.
Okay. But now if you come over the border illegally and you're carrying the flag of your home country, is that not technically an invasion?
Yeah, go back. Yeah, you're an invader.
Legally, I mean, in the truest, most purest sense of the word, you're invading the country.
Yes.
Which is different than just entering the country.
Right. When you enter and you go, I want to live here, you go, bye, and cut it off.
Right. But when you come over and you're carrying the flag, no, that's actually an act of war.
Right.
You know, try that.
Flags matter.
Yeah. Flags matter. They actually do. They make a difference. Let's see. Eric Durant saying, my toolbox From the the International Harvester Plant says, "Hungry? Eat your foreign car." I remember that sticker.
Mm-hmm.
Wannabe Tony, did you ever know Broadway Freddy? Maybe, maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Hot you, I'm Apache, get off my land.
Tardar, I would feel differently about these people if they were dressed like Uncle Sam waving American flags. Yeah, we all would.
Yeah.
Everybody would.
Yeah.
Okay. Aaron Turnage, thanks for the reply earlier. Another issue I'm having is my new distributor will advance 10 more at 2300 and won't settle back to idle until I kill the motor. Then it's back at 12 degrees.
Where does he have their vacuum plugged in?
Yeah, you dealing with a vacuum advance set up there?
That's what that sounds like.
That's what that sounds like.
You shut it off and the vacuum goes away and the timing goes down.
Yeah. If that's the case, switch the vacuum port. So if that's the case, then you're on manifold vacuum.
Yeah.
So switch it over to a ported source, and you probably should go away.
Yeah, because your new distributor probably got a ported vacuum advance pod in it.
It's only mechanical advance, then you've got a defect there of some sort.
Yeah, something's hanging up.
Yeah, something's hanging up. It's just not clearanced correctly. Take it apart. You'll find where it's hanging up, and either lube it or I could be anything, but that's what your problem is. Biofly, good evening. Open eyes. My grandparents came here from Germany during World War II. They went to work, learned the language, and assimilated.
So did mine on my mother's side. Yeah. They fled the Nazis after the war. They weren't. Well, there's a whole myth to that side of the family, because that side of the family, their surname is Lang, and there was a very famous World War II aviator with the last name Lang.
Okay.
Who looks a lot like me.
Okay. he was like a Red Baron type of.
No, World War II. So like Messerschmitt, like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, one of them guys. Yeah.
Okay.
Then they show up in Milwaukee in 47. Hey, we're here. Go work at the tannery, and no one will ever know.
You could have just as easily ended up in Argentina with the rest of them.
Well, I know.
Let's see. Mark Davis, starting from scratch, ported vacuum or manifold vacuum for timing?
Depends on motor and how your distributor is set up.
Right. So go with this. So if your distributor is of a General Motors style distributor, they're intended to be run with manifold vacuum. If it's a Chrysler, it's intended to be run with ported vacuum. If it's a Ford, like everything else in a Ford, it's a freaking wild card. And some of them actually use both manifold and ported at the same time.
And they have advance and retard built into the pod.
Yeah. So go with the style of distributor that it is. The HEI style distributor, it's manifold. If it's, the other one is ported.
Yeah.
Stray Bullet says his family has been here since 1630. There was no ice back then.
Woo!
Boomer's mom's side came over during the potato famine.
Wow. Skinny Irish folks.
Scoop is saying, there's my family tree. They're all stuck in it right now. Firefly, Tony, ever met anyone who fabbed up a custom V10 or V12 out of stock blocks? I was wondering how they did things like this. I don't know. I don't know personally, okay, but Chet Herbert and that whole crew was messing around with V16 Chevys, where they mated 2 blocks together and used a custom crank that long. They had one in a dragster. I don't know how it ran. You can find it in you can find a major feature on it with all of the detail pictures in Hot Rod Magazine, but I can't remember the name. I can't remember the month. This was like 1971. Has to be 1971. So you could go look for that.
Keep them entertained. I'll figure it out.
Okay, I'm going to keep you guys entertained. Ready? Ready for entertainment? You will be entertained. Let's see. Lots of Italians in Australia, but they've traditionally loved Valiants. Yes. Firefly saying Chet Herbert 1971. I'll go looking. Yep. That's not it, but oh wait, that is it. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's even got the an Enderley bug catcher on it, or the 3 rib.
The extended bug catcher. Yeah.
It's not just extended. See, it's got 3 ribs.
Oh, okay.
So that's 1970s vintage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So show them.
Oh my gosh! We're
Yes.
wrecking
So
the
that's a V16 Chevy.
What happened?
Raw Dog 420. Who's watching CNN or Fox News or MSN? I've been watching a lot of this guy's channel, so only for this. So I feel responsible to give him a shout out. It's God, oh my God, D-Day Cobra. For the last few nights, I've been tuning into his channel.
D-Day Cobra.
D-Day Cobra, and he's got like an aggregate of feeds from different locations. So I just landed on his channel, and I just kind of stuck with it for the last few nights just to keep up on what's going on. So shout out to D-Day Cobra.
I think you should take the whole Middle East from the sea all the way to China and just
they're desperate
and make it one big glass parking lot.
They're going to do that to themselves. They're going to do that to themselves.
They don't even know what they're fighting over.
Scoop is on Veteran Biker a lot. Yes, he's a good guy. So I've been having my coffee with Veteran Biker for the last few weeks or so. He changed his name though. It's not called Veteran Biker anymore. It's Ben something or other. But yeah, every morning I'm having my coffee and I throw on Veteran Biker. So shout out to him.
Mexican Specs wants to know why the table is still in sale.
Oh, because I am the cheapest son of a bitch you will ever meet. Quite literally.
The table's from the curb.
Yeah, it's I picked it off of a marketplace for like, I don't know, I paid like $20 for the damn thing. I have more money than I know what to do with. I don't know what to do with it all, but I won't spend it. Go figure that one out. Tell me what kind of like mental illness this is.
This is a budget show, folks.
Please. No, it's not shims under the legs. It's actual the tabletop to the base is sketchy.
I mean, you shouldn't have to worry. The camera's stable. We took the camera.
Yeah, the camera's
the camera doesn't move. It's just this does. Oh, they're seeing this thing wiggle. Oh, stop it.
It's just it's a little sense of motion that gives us,
that we're not AI.
Yes, that's how you know we're not AI. Count our fingers.
That's why I said we had 6 fingers earlier. This is
right.
Actually all 100% AI driven.
Scoop is saying I didn't want to be a mod, but I'm used to it now. Where are you a mod? I have the best mods in all of YouTube, in the history of YouTube.
What to do with the money? Buy the nicest Imperial you can and daily drive it. You wouldn't enjoy it.
Yeah. I've gotten to the age now, material things just do not faze me anymore. I seriously hope each of you can eventually reach that point, because that's what freedom is. You just don't care. When you just do not friggin' care. Let's see. Let's just zone out.
William and Terry Boyer adding 100 feet of garden hose to the cooling system, like in the old Crash of Derby days.
Work
on XJ and Land Rover Overland.
Why wouldn't it?
Yeah,
you could. That's was one of the ones Smoky unit cheated with the gasoline. They said that you could only have X amount of gas in the tank.
Mm-hmm.
So he snaked
hundreds of feet of
it's like 20-something feet of garden hose all through the. Oh no, more than that. Garden hose all through the car to hold the extra gasoline. Ben, okay. So you're a mod over on Veteran Biker. Okay, excellent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, tell him I enjoy his lives in the morning. I really do. He's such a regular guy. That's why I think that's why I like him, because he's just like, he's so sincere. He's just like the regular guy. Like if you pulled somebody out of their truck and you said, "Here, sit here and do a live," right? That's him, and I think that's awesome. That's the way it should be. That's what YouTube should be.
One for the road. Spent 20 years wanting faster and faster cars to build. Now that I'm happy with 300 horsepower, you got to get ice cream.
No matter how fast you go, you get used to it almost immediately. It doesn't matter. It does not matter.
It doesn't matter.
I give you 1,000 horsepower, and then you can be like, "Oh my god!" And then like 2 days later, you're like, "This thing is a slug. It won't go." Right? And that's a rabbit hole you keep chasing. It does not matter how fast you go. You acclimate to it, and you gotta go faster. So it's like, yeah, and that's when you realize, wait, I was having fun back when it was 300 and 400 horsepower. But
right.
Damn it, this 6,000 horsepower contraption is just eating me alive.
Yeah, it's like too many switches and things. And
yes,
yeah,
I have been there. I have done that. Old school. How can you get gas out of a car gas tank without drilling a hole in it? Siphon.
Yeah.
If you can get the hose in there, siphon it.
Mm-hmm. What? Vic Valenzi. Tony, what do you think about seeing Plan Z getting back on the road again on Slant Daily? Did Shane get back on the road?
No, I have no idea. I mean, I don't really think anything about it. I mean, I would expect him to do something with it.
Mm-hmm.
Rocco, it's not how fast you go, it's how you go fast. Absolutely.
Kyle, I got a 1980 Dodge D150 with a Super 6 that came out of a 79 Aspen. Transmission is shifting too early. Any thoughts?
Where is that?
Right here.
Oh, okay.
Kyle, right there.
Transmission is shifting too early. Yeah. That's all going to be in the kickdown linkage, which is on a Chrysler product. It's not really kickdown linkage; it's a throttle position sensor. So the linkage that goes between the carburetor and that arm, that little lever that's on the. So you look at your transmission. There are two levers. There's the one that the shifter goes to, click, 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 and then there's the other one that's above it, and that's the one that's kind of spring loaded. That's the throttle position sensor. So you need to have a link between the carburetor or with the throttle body, whatever it happens to be, and that sensor. And from the factory, it's all mechanical linkage, and it's also adjustable. So to make that shift later, you want to extend it. You want to make the linkage a little bit longer. So when you open the throttle, it's pushing it further back. The further back you push it, the later the shift will go. Hot shoe, my first pass on a top fuel car. I couldn't see for the first 300 feet or so. Scared the hell out of me. I couldn't see my first pass in a fuel car. I couldn't see anything at all because my helmet was jammed up against the roll cage. My head was like an integral part of the car. And as soon as I whacked the throttle, my vision went, and it blew the tires off. I pedaled it back. And my vision came back and I says, aha, I could see. And I whacked it again and everything went again. And I pedaled it 3 times. This was at Atco on a Friday night when I wasn't even supposed to be there because it was a street night. And I show up in a friggin' blown nitro car. And yes, so yeah, you don't forget stuff like that. Hot Shoe saying it's amazing what we can get used to. I know, I know. So you guys, I'm sure you've heard of, you know, Bobby Lagana Jr., right? He's top fuel racer. He's out there now. Really good guy. So they were kids. I was partners with their dad. I worked with their dad, and then I was partners with their dad on a dragster. So when we decided to get, you know, we need Junior in the car because Senior was a little shaky. So we're going to get Junior in the car. And I told him, I says, first pass, I says, drive it to 60 foot, right? And he looked at me like, that's nothing, right? And I told him, I says, you're going to hit the throttle and you're going to think that you're past the traps. You're going to be like looking to reach for the chute just as soon as you hit the throttle because your mind slows everything way down in the first pass. And he is go to 60 foot. And he got to the tree. He whacked it, he got to the tree, and then just shut it down. In his mind, he had gone all the way down the track.
Yeah.
It's very disorienting. But then your second pass, and your third pass, and your fourth pass, and you acclimate to it. And every time you go a little bit further down, and then it just becomes a ride.
Eric the Wrench, when I got to test drive a Hayabusa, Dune Mechanic knew better at the end of the block, so I didn't know how I got it. Okay.
When I got to test drive the Hayabusa, as a dealer mechanic knew better at the end of the block, and I didn't know how I got there. Yeah. And I was like, no, I'm about to lose my job, bring the bike back. I know, Ed Riati, Tony, what's your beer of choice? I really don't drink. Not that I have anything against it, but I don't drink. But when I have the occasional beer, it has to be something blacker than black and thick enough to chew. Like to me, like a Guinness is like light beer. So that's my taste in beer. Tony, don't smoke. No, I quit smoking a while ago. Northern Grit. So have you ever noticed a jerk to skill ratio in men, just like hot to crazy ratio in women? Yes, but I can't really articulate that. But I know what you're talking about. You know the hot crazy graph?
Yeah.
Right? Yes. There's the same thing with I'm going to dwell on that, and we're going to talk about that on the next.
You got all Sunday to talk about that.
Yes. Charlie Romo, what's happening, Charlie? What thermostat should I run my 72-340 with a 6-pack setup? I have a 195, but the engine gets hot, runs at 195, 205, no overheating. Should I use a 180 thermostat? 190, what's the matter with 195? Charlie, I mean, if you're averaging out at 200 degrees, And I would say, if you could just maintain it at 200 degrees and it never gets, hotter than 205, 210, then yeah, that's it. That's where you're going to make the most power. That's where the motor's going to run best.
Yeah, you got coolant, you're pressurized. 200 is not that big a deal.
Yeah. Tony, what's your coffee? Is your choice? I take a dark roast. Yeah, I do like dark roasts. What do I drink at the house? Folgers Black Silk, I think, is one of my favorites, and chock full of nuts. But I'm trying to think of the roast because they have a bunch of different roasts. What's your coffee?
I get my coffee from a guy in Texas who has a Guatemalan wife that they get.
Oh yeah, you were talking about that, right?
Yeah. Stephen Holtz, just drive it. He's got a YouTube channel, and so I'm like on auto ship with him. Once a month, I get my 6 bags of coffee to the house.
Nice.
And he sends me a bill, and I pay it online, and it's just an automatic thing. And his coffee is beautiful. It's fantastic.
I think my favorite.
I can't really drink much else. So when I go to like the gas station and stuff like that, they have if the Guatemalan machine is broke, which usually is for some reason, then I'll just get like Colombian and then fill it like 3/4, put some ice, and then a bunch of half and half, and to kind of there.
So like the 7-Eleven, their house blend is good. Like if I'm on the run, I'm not really picky about the freaking coffee. But when I had the coffee houses, I had a roast that was a combination. It was 1/3 Ethiopian Sidamo, and which really actually tastes like blueberry. Because the coffee plant is related to the blueberry.
Mm-hmm.
So I had my house roast was 1/3 Ethiopian Sidamo and 2/3 Costa Rican. And that's really nutty. So you got a combination of the nutty
Fruit
and the
nutty.
blueberry. Oh yeah, it was excellent. Excellent. I've done too many things.
What if we had a coffee grinder at the Speed Lab?
I mean, we could. So my friend, when we had the coffee houses, I had this guy named Joseph. He was an artist, and when I told him I want to start roasting my own coffee, he jumped on that. He was just, I want to roast coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there was no budget to roast coffee, right?
Right.
So I was like, I'll buy the coffee, and you do you figure out how to roast it, and so he concocted a thing. He used a bread maker and a heat gun. Okay. He converted the bread maker. Dude, this didn't work like gangbusters. Okay. He converted the bread maker to where it just ran consistently at the same speed, and then made a hanger for the heat gun to point the heat gun down into it, and it was just like that, and it worked to perfection. It worked to perfection. You get the first crack after, I don't know, like 10 minutes, 8 or 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. And you get the second crack, and it was always just dead nuts. He had it down to a science. And then when he moved on, I kept that same system
machine
going. Yeah, people thought it was nuts. Look at the chav he's roasting coffee with. My coffee was fantastic, and it was just scienced out by this guy, Joseph. David Morgan, hey Tony, did they make an automatic cutoff for positive crankcase ventilation vacuum so you can hit for street racing? Why would you want to eliminate the PCV for street racing? That makes no sense at all. The PCV is as close to an evacuation system as you can get. Any way that you can relieve pressure or create a vacuum in the crankcase while you're trying to make power works in your favor. It doesn't work against you, it works for you.
Yeah, if you turned it off and just built up crankcase pressure, you would just blow out seals and make less power. Yeah.
Judge Fett 426, why did Dodge make a 62 Fargo truck?
Because they needed trucks in Canada.
Because they could.
Yeah.
That's That's always been my answer.
Because they could.
Anytime the question of
Why?
62 Fargo trucks comes up,
Oh,
because
okay.
it could.
Have you ever seen, speaking of Fargo trucks, a channel called the Rust Farm?
I've heard of it. I don't think I've ever seen
Yeah,
it.
my buddy Steve from Canada.
Okay.
Were you with me on Power Tour last year? We were talking to him. He's got the quad cab 68 D100 with the cones powered.
I don't remember.
Oh, okay. You'd remember it, but yeah, he's up in Canada, so he finds all these Fargos because that's what they were up in. The Dodges were in Canada. Ooh, it's a Fargo. That's a good truck. Anyway,
Best part of waking up, Folgers. You know what's really good? I don't like instant coffee, right? But I keep Folgers instant coffee, just in case, right? Just like real quick, gotta make, So yeah, Folgers instant is not bad. It's actually pretty good.
Kyle's got another question here too. You can get that one.
Hey. I have a 440. I'm putting a Offenhauser 360 dual quad intake with 2 Holley 450s. Has 750 double pump on it now. Is those 450s going to be too much with only a 40 lift cam? No. We got is it the 44, 40? It's the street hemi grind, right? No.
Because they're vacuum.
Okay, so just to put yourself mentally at rest, the factory had the 413 with the dual quad setup, a very primitive intake manifold, and ran a pair of 625 CFM AFBs on them. So no, you're not. No, not at all. It'll run really good.
Don't worry about it. Enjoy the tunnel run.
Enjoy it. Yeah.
Enjoy the dual quads. Yeah.
Tony rocking the Sanka. No, Sanka's horrible. If you're an instant coffee guy, try the Folgers instant coffee. Let's see. Old school. Tony, what kind of car do you drive around town? XJs. I have a fleet of XJs. And I keep them in kind of a rotation.
Now we're on coffee.
Let's see. Joe Brooklyn. China Syndrome 2. A crack in the float. I asked myself, what would Uncle Tony do? Get the soldering iron out and cover the crack and send it. Yes. I'm hot rodding again. Thanks. See you tomorrow. Yes, there you go. David Morgan loved the video on Pontiacs. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I think I'm pretty much done with. I haven't been posting a lot of videos, and I've been doing a lot of that type of video. I think I got like one more in me, and then that's it. We're getting back to the old stuff. We're getting back to actually building and screwing around with things. One for the road is saying, I've done things with XJs that were dead stock in off-road scenarios that would astonish people. Extremely versatile, capable vehicles. I call the XJ mankind's greatest achievement because there is no vehicle overall, okay, not the fastest, not the best handling, not the best comfortable, not the best anything, okay, but overall, right, and I've driven everything, okay, overall, the XJ is the best vehicle ever produced anywhere in the world by anybody at any time, at any price. And I will stand by, I will die on that mountain. Nothing is better than an XJ as a vehicle. So, just see what I'm saying? Word goes, hey guys, how much compression can you safely run on a 400 Mopar and an 87 octane? Want to put pistons on stealth heads on mine, which will bring the compression around 10 to 1. Well, I mean, a lot of it has to do with the cam and how high you're going to spin it. And of course, how much total timing it. Yeah, you can make it run on 87, but you're going to be sacrificing timing.
Yeah, you're going to run safe at 30 instead of at 34.
Exactly. You're going to give up a lot there.
But why would you buy the big dollar heads and cheap gas?
That's a good question.
Spend $1,500 on a set of heads, but God damn it, I'm not going to spend $8 more on a tank of gas.
Marco thrust welder, the X. So it scrolled right off. But he's speaking the praise of the XJ. Yes. Hachu, does Moroso still make octane booster? Are they even still a thing?
I'm sure Holly owns the name on that brand, and they'll resurrect it someday or something.
Richie B just got in.
20-cent motors.
Where?
Right here.
64 to 66 Imperials were the most isolated Mopars made until maybe the transverse torsion bar. I mean, isolated. When he says isolated, means like from vibration.
Yeah, on the Imperials, and I just found this out the other day. The steering box has like a inverted U built into the steering box, and the steering shaft is the opposite, so they kind of go together like this.
Yeah.
And in between those, there's a rubber isolator. Okay. And then most people have these.
Aware of that.
Yeah, and that's why that's where the isolation is for the steering wheel, and it's just just like that. And most guys they'll think their steering box is worn out, so they'll get a new steering box, get a pull column, replace the box, and then they put the column. But they didn't realize that this piece of rubber that was supposed to be in there has been gone for 20 years, and then they get it back together, and it's freaking worse, But that $12 insulator is what makes the Imperial steering.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, these are tidbits I found out.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And they use that same steering box on a lot of the big body Chrysler, not just the Imperials.
I'm trying to picture what.
Well, this was like a 59.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the full frame big.
I'm thinking later.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if it's a 59, it should be the same box that's in Sledgehammer. They use that truck box. Well, that's the manual version of it.
Mm-hmm.
But the power steering version of it, I think, is what they used on those cars.
I don't know. But yeah, they used it for many years. Yeah.
Let's see.
Don't forget Tony doesn't usually steer.
No, I leave steering to people, who do that kind of thing. $20 Motors is saying there was a lot more than just steering isolation. In 64, they got rubber pucks at every attachment point between body and frame.
Yeah.
So a lot of people who don't, so you go by the Mopar alphabet, families, A body, B body, C body. The Imperial was a D body until, I don't even remember what year it was that it became a C body. But the Imperial was a D body, and the D body had a full frame. And somebody asked before about those cars being banned from demolition derbies. And yes, they absolutely were. I forget the age range the year range of cars that were like just universally banned from demolition derbies. But yeah, Imperials, because they killed people. They would you T-bone anything
with an Imperial,
significant enough speed with an Imperial, and they're
disintegrated.
Drive right through a car. D Straw was saying 57 to 66 Imperials. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wheelie King is saying the power version of that box was power assist with a hydro cylinder on the tie rods like a vet, or like a Ford's.
Yeah.
But the ratio was different. D-Star was saying, yes, 67 Imperial unibody like the C bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's the missing letter between the C body and the E body. It's like, where's D? Well, that was D.
The Imperials, yeah.
Although no, they kept the D body designation because they had there was a lot of even after they went to the C body to the unibody platform, semi unibody platform. They had the wheels were different. They had 5-on-5 lug nuts. Everything else was 5-on-4.5. There were enough structural differences or differences in the package that it maintained the C body label until sometime in the 70s, but I don't remember when. Russ Peter Derelicts, did I tell you I had the chance to look at the last race Hemi built by Dick Landy Industries? No. Yes, 20-cent motors, different. That's right, longer wheelbase. Through 73, that was it.
And then they keep the D line for the trucks?
I think that's a separate. I never really got into the lineage.
Well, it's a D100 or a D, yeah.
Yeah, but they were D trucks at the same time as the D body car.
Right.
So I think it's just two separate things. I think the
D was just for Dodge truck.
Yeah, Dodge truck.
Yeah.
Similar to 74 Imperial went to C body. Okay. Richie B is saying that the Brooklyn SV1 had ballast material in front and rear bumpers. Kyle, is a stock 1961 8 3/4 391 gear good for 500 horsepower all day long?
Yeah.
Yep. The only problem you're going to have with that, if you deal with the whole axle, you're going to have those Woodruff key. They're a pain in the ass, but you've got inferior axles and the so talking about just the center section, yes, absolutely up to the task. 500 horsepower is and you try to stick it to anything, and those Woodruff key axles just say goodbye.
You can get your opinion on something here. Andrew Button, converting my e-body to manual steering worth the weight savings? ?
I believe so, yes. But you're asking me, okay?
If you're still rocking the e-body and it's a nice car with power steering, that they just drive nice.
If it's a drive.
Yeah, what are you using it for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you ask me, and I'm a freak with this stuff, and I'm like, yes, automatically throw a manual steering box in it, because you're reducing the weight of the box, but there's also the pump and the belt and the extra pulleys and all the other shit, and the parasitic loss from turning the pump. So yeah, there's a fairly significant difference in performance, aside from just the weight. But what are you using the car for? Is it a cruiser? Is it something you're going to drive down the road? Then no, leave it alone. If you're only after straight line performance, then by all means.
If it's a drag car, get rid of the shit.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't know. I like the way those e-bodies driving, nice and easy and smooth and. Rod, 420. Anyone love off-road racing? Yeah.
I wish I had the time and the
time.
The time. And I knew people who were into it, because it's one thing. You have to know, like you can't just say, I'm going to go off-road racing tomorrow morning.
And then show up. Yeah, you need to get in that circle.
You need to be in the circle, and you need to know how things work and so on and so forth. So, I would love to be involved in something like that, but I know nobody, and I'm content to just play around, what I got. Russ Peter Derelicts, twin plug race Hemi question, difference in distributors, both vertical versus one of them is 90 degrees off the main shaft. Okay. So the vertical ones, okay, are a belt drive. Right? And those are generally used for magnetos. That was the Mallory drive. When Mallory originated it, and a couple other people made it. But it's got a Gilmer belt in there. And if you're setting it for drag racing, the driven cam is
over in the.
There's a 2 degree difference in timing if you're trying to like really split hairs with it. Now the other one, the one where you've got the distributor comes out on an angle and another one plugs into it like this, that's based on a Hilborn fuel injection drive. So they had this deal where they would drive the fuel injection pump, mechanical fuel injection, off of the distributor drive. And so pro stock racers in like 1972, 1973, 73 adapted that and plugged that second distributor in. So that's the difference between the two. One is belt driven and the other one is driven off of a gear.
Yes.
Actually,
that's that what that big hole is for?
This is for mechanical tack drive.
Cable drive for the tack.
Yeah, cable drive for the tack. Well, this is stuck on there, and I don't want to take it off because
it's like sealed.
Yeah, but this would be the foundation of the Hilborn drive. They used the same gear and the same shaft that this is, and they added a boss to it to mount the fuel pump. And when they went to the distributor, they just fabricated a base for the distributor that made it to that fuel pump drive, and that's the pro stock dual point or dual plug distributor. Let's see. Mitch, have you ever worked on a 265 Hemi 6? Have not. Holy shit, Dr. Art. Look what time it is.
Oh my God.
How have we been on here that long?
I don't know. Time just flew. This is the point of the show where the lurkers need to come by and say hello.
Yes. If you're lurking,
while you have your time and you want to be famous, get yourself on television, go ahead and tell us you're lurking, and we'll acknowledge you.
Didn't Hilborn use like a diesel fuel pump? The BL series. Was it the BL? The BL series Hilborns were diesel pumps. But then was it the BL? The Tang drive one, not the Hex drive. I'm drawing a blank now. This is 40 years since I screwed around with 30 years since I screwed around with those. Mexican Spec is saying, who hasn't hit the like button? Tony likes to see a big number. No, I'm just so insecure that if I don't see a lot of likes, I have a crisis. It's terrible. I go home and I yell in the mirror for hours until I pass out. Let's see. David Morgan, is the Australian six-cylinder called the Hemi 6 really have hemispherical combustion chambers? It does not. They're canted valve. Jackie Curl, are you ever going to do any AMC stuff? Well, I mean, my XJs all have AMC inline sixes.
That's where they were. Yeah,
that's where it came from. So yeah, we currently have Mission Improbable, which is
the fastest stock. The fastest stock AMC Jeep.
Yeah.
See, we got lurkers, John. Lurker Drew's Car Care. Yeah, we got all the lurkers. We want the lurkers to come up and say hello.
Yes.
Don't be shy. Get yourself noticed.
Never be shy, man.
Never be shy.
You only live once. Tavo is saying the chamber is a very shallow Hemi. No, Tavo, it's a canted valve engine. It's a polysphere. It's definitely not a hemisphere. Kyle, I'm really stressing about this. Oh no, don't stress over this shit, man. It's just nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
How do I know if a later model 440 will accept an 833 4-speed? Okay. Oh, if it's a cast crank engine, it's not drilled for the pilot for pilot bushing. So you can't just take a 4-speed, an 833 4-speed, and plug it directly into a cast crank 440 because it don't fit. There's nothing for it to pilot into, and there's no pilot bushing. Does that mean you can't do it? No, of course it doesn't mean that. The way you do that now, okay, is you have to trim approximately an inch and a half off the input shaft, okay? And then because you can't put a pilot bushing, an older style pilot bushing in that cast crank 440 crank, you use one from a Dakota, use one from a Magnum Mopar. So like any of the V6 or the V8 Magnums all had a roller bearing that will fit into the same hub or the same register in the crank that's there for the torque converter hub. And then by doing that, by shortening the input shaft and using the Dakota or the Magnum style pilot bushing, you can then mount any 833 4-speed to any cast crank Mopar.
There you go.
There you go.
Have a good time. Measure twice.
Enjoy.
Yeah. Measure one, cut twice.
One for the road. Remember when they tried to market the 2.6 Mitsubishi option on the K platform as a Hemi? It was a Hemi. The Mitsubishi 2.6, take the cylinder head off, and it is a Hemi. As Hemi as you could get.
And that's actually a screamy little motor.
They're great motors.
Yeah.
They were great motors. Andrew Button, did early 440s with forged cranks all have drilling for the pilot bushing? Yes. If it's got a forged crank, it absolutely is drilled for pilot bushing. Let's see. Josh Holman says, neat. I have no idea what he's talking about.
Scoop says, used to switch everything to 4 or 5 speeds. Now it's all automatics.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, I know.
The knees can't take the shifting and everything else and the aggravation of, yeah.
It's not so much the knees or anything. I just.
Oh, for me, it's like, oh.
I was always into the cartilage shredding clutches. You know? More springs. Give me more springs, damn it. You know how bad I was with that?
Hmm.
When I had Bottle Rocket, when it was a 4-speed,
Yeah.
I had a clutch in the car. I bought a just a regular replacement Hemi clutch, threw it in there, and it was like kind of soft, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I brought it over to this clutch place over in Nashville, right? And I need more spring, so they gave it to me, right? And I put it back in the car, and it was all right, but I wanted more, so I brought it back to him again. I says, I want this thing. I want clutch, okay? So they give it back to me. I put it in the car. I didn't run it around or anything. I just buttoned everything up, brought it to the track, took it off the trailer, right? And ran around. And first, I go to make a burn. I go to do the burnout. I hit the clutch like aggressively, and it snapped the lever or the bracket off the clutch can. Yeah, that's it. It yeeted the bracket off. So yeah, I used to be like a clutch overkill kind of guy, which is not the way to do it. It's just the way I did it. The Uncola candy bar. Oh, Tony, it's about 7-Up candy bar. You remember that one? I remember 7-Up soda.
Mm-hmm.
The Uncola. Let's see. I know.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
zoning out.
Yeah, that's.
I think we're about done.
Yeah, we're toast.
Yeah, I think it's about over. Now they're all going to go running out of here.
Run!
But make sure you hit the like button on the way out.
On the way out,
I have a really fragile ego. You guys have no idea. I look like I've got it together. Don't I look like I have it together?
You got the blue shirt gives it away to, you know.
I don't have it together, okay?
Who's giving us the super chats?
PG-13, the Bill Hound. Do you like Finnegan's Blasphemy? Yeah, it's a cool car.
Yeah.
I think he went all wrong as far as the car is nice. The concept of the car is nice. That's awesome. His choice of blower and top end on that motor, I think he went completely in the wrong direction. Because if you go back to the gasser days, what that car is actually representative of. So let's say 1969, 1970 or thereabouts, they were making 1,000, 1,200 horsepower with a 671 and just an 8-port Hilborn hat, right? That was it. 671, 8-port, and not even an exotic blower, just a hard anodized, no strips, no nothing, 671 blower with the Hilborn or Crower, 8 nozzle mechanical injection, and they were making the power that he's making now, but he's doing it in this crazy way with it's just overkill for what he's getting out of it. He'd make the same horsepower if he just retroed everything back to that era. And there was a proven combination, and guys used to run those year after year after year, and they worked very well. So I think Finnegan's main problem is that he tricks himself out of the ballpark. He has a beautiful car, and I like Finnegan. I really do.
It's made 999. Let's put the smaller pulley on it, and then poof, vapors. Just be happy.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything. I'm not talking. I'm not throwing shade at Finnegan. Like
no,
if somebody shows him this clip, understand. I genuinely like him. I think he's a great person. I like what he does. I like his attitude. But with that car, I think it's just overkill. It's like he consistently tricks himself out of the ballpark where he could just take a very simple, very basic, very proven setup from 50, 60 years ago, plug it in that car, and it'll run exactly as he's getting it to run now. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah. All right, sign us out of here.
Yes, we are going to go now.
We are going to go.
We are going to go. So.
Close the book.
Our fantastic mods, Zero, Mexican Spec, Fubar. Guys, thank you so much, as always. Everybody contributed super chat. Thank you. Never expected, but always appreciated. Everybody contributed likes, your conversation and your presence. Thank you equally. We have to brainstorm on and get the frick are we calling it now? The Midnight Speed Lab. Okay, you guys are going to be seeing a lot of Midnight Speed Lab coming up.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to be cool.
MidnightSpeedLab.com.
Yes.
Midnight Speed Lab. Swag.
Oh, everything, please.
Yes.
Everything. Breeds of dogs. Oh, what is that?
That's a speed lab.
That's a Midnight Speed Lab. Yeah, we're going all out with this thing. All right, guys. On that note, Dr. Art's Hot Rod Rehab. Go over there, give him a sub, and all of that good stuff. Scoop, make sure you tell a veteran biker. I have my coffee with him every morning. I'm tempted to call in. He's got that call-in number, but I don't want to be a dick. So just tell him I enjoy his deal in the morning, and that's it, guys. I'm going to hit them.
Hit the
go away
button.
button.
Adios.
That's it. We're going to hang the chutes right now.
See you later. Good night, ladies and
There we
gentlemen.
We're hanging the chutes. I'm not even on fire.